Welcome back everyone. Today I'll be analyzing the super clean and dynamic vaulting of Carlos Yulo from the Philippines. I will also include my analysis of his parallel bar and floor routines, and I believe he's always in medal contention on these events. Last year at the 2023 World Championships, he had a hand slip on the vaulting table and ended up landing on his back. If your feet don't touch the ground first on your landings, you receive a 0 vault, and that's the score he received. In my opinion, this freak accident is the only reason he didn't medal, as he was a favorite in the vault. The more I watch Carlos, the more I appreciate his very clean and meticulous execution of his skills. He always makes an effort to be as exact as he can, and he pays a lot of attention to the small details of his gymnastics. Let's get started with the analysis. His two main vaults are a handspring double pike front flip with a half twist or risi guan, and his second main vault is a double twisting kazamatsu or a Lopez, which is actually a triple twist from the springboard to landing. In the past, he's also done a handspring double front tuck branny out or dragolescu, and a handspring pike double front as well. He does all these vaults with really clean execution. This is his handspring pike double front with a branny out to a stuck landing. This is also one of the most difficult vaults being done today, with one of the highest difficulty ratings as well. He gets on the vault table very close to the front of the table, fast and early. He has a low block angle, just like a pole vaulter, and pushes the vault table on the way up from the springboard. His body is very tight like a pencil and not loose like a noodle. This tight body position allows him to block or push the horse away through his shoulders. This is the pinnacle of his height. He finishes the first flip in a slightly tighter pike position and only about 6 inches lower than he started his flip, as his green line is the same height as before the flip. He initiates his branny or half twist very early in this vault. When he starts his twist, the body has to open up a little bit in order to complete the twist. This slows the rotation of the flip down a little bit, so it's always better to twist as late as possible to avoid stalling out the flip. In multiple flips, it's very difficult to psychologically be patient enough to twist later. Instinctively, the body wants to twist. I believe if he could initiate the twist later, he'd stand up straighter in his landing. When he maintains good flip speed and rotation, he can kick out of his vaults very easily. Here's a closer look at the pre-flight. This is a very vulnerable place to have a leg separation in vaulting, and his execution is incredibly clean here. He maintains his great form with his legs straight and together. Here he starts to twist a bit early and does have a slight leg bend here, but again, remember, this is slow motion and this all happens incredibly fast. In his pre-flight, he keeps his head back and looks at the vault through the completion of his block. Now, when he brings his chin to his chest to start his flip, he will accelerate his flip rotation. If he were to bring his head up too early, it would stall the rotation. This slight leg bend happens very close to the landing and could be interpreted as preparation for the landing. Remember, this is happening very fast. Now let's take a look at his double twisting kazamatsu. A kazamatsu already has a full twist in it, so a double twisting kazamatsu really is made up of a triple twist. This is one of the more difficult vaults being done today, with a difficulty rating of a 5.6. He hits right in the center of the springboard to generate good power. Very much like his front vaulting, he gets on the vaulting table very fast with a deep block angle, and he's very near the front of the vaulting table. He has a micro leg separation here. It's even small in slow motion. Unlike his front vaulting, where both hands block equally, his left arm is reaching out and doing most of the pole vault-like blocking with help from the other arm. This is his body angle after one twist. Excellent form in the air with legs tight together and pointed toes. After completing his second slightly faster twist, his flip only rotates about 90 degrees. In his final twist, his body has much more flip rotation than the first flip as he focuses on the landing. Look how tight his body is here. It's just like a pencil spinning. There's no torque or break in rhythm. Very nice. Here we look head on at how high he is and how perfectly vertical he is. Now the more twists you do within your flips, the more off axis your body tilts to handle the torque, as you can see here. It's a little like a gyroscope. As the flip rotates and completes the 360 degrees, the axis corrects itself and lands very squared off, and in this case right on the center line. Really well done. Let's go back and look at the height of his vault. This is a side-by-side of Hak Xiang Yang, considered one of the best vaulters in history. Now the perspectives are both different, but Carlos's height is very similar. Really exceptional height from both of them. If he's ever having a tough day, he can always choose to do a tuck double front branny out or a dragolescu, and he'd still be competitive. I really hope he has a great competition at the Olympics. He starts off with a peach to one rail. He gets his hands on the one bar very fast and continues to push without losing much upward momentum from his peach. Watch closely as he makes micro adjustments to his balance as he grabs the one rail. I've seen him perform many times on parallel bars, and although this skill requires an obvious amount of precision and balance, he is very consistent with this skill. You have to be consistent or you can't do the Healy twirl down, which we see here. He gets that hand on the bars very fast, and this helps him control the swing out of the skill. From the side angle, we can see it more clearly. Here, he prepares for his makuts, and as he swings up, we can see he bends his arm quite a bit. I've seen this technique in many other athletes, and I think it helps them get on top of the one rail very fast so they can make micro adjustments to their balance better. Remember, this is all happening very fast. This puts him right on top to a vertical handstand, and it makes the Healy twirl down much easier to control, getting that hand back on the bar fast. Now into his regular Healy twirl. He's very comfortable with Healy twirls and very consistent. If we reverse a Healy twirl, it looks just like a Diamondov if it's well done, and his does. Pirouette. Now he moves into his cast to upper arms into his back uprise front toss. Many people will pause and reset at this point just a little to make sure they have a powerful enough swing to do their front toss. Carlos has a smooth transition here with no significant pause or reset. Watch how fast he flips and how fast his hands get back on the bars. The faster he gets his hands on the bars, the more control he has of the swing out of the skill. Too little swing and you bend your arms. Too strong of a swing and you fall forward. This is well done. Swing to handstand. In this routine, he does a straight leg moi, which is pretty easy for him. Now sometimes he does a front 1 1/4 flip to a glide kip, which is much more difficult but much more fun to analyze. Let's take a look. Great position here to create power in the swing. He actually gets much higher on this skill than he does on his double front with a half twist dismount. He rotates very well and clears the bars with his legs very comfortably. One of his rare execution flaws that stand out to me is that he flexes his feet through the bottom swing here. Remember, this is slow motion. This is a side-by-side comparison of World Champion Zhou Zhuyan. They both start off with very open shoulder angles, setting up for a powerful swing. The release point is almost identical as they push the bars away. They rotate at slightly different speeds, but as an estimate, I would say they are close to the same height at this point. Again, very similar position here. Yes, Zhao has more of a rounded back and his head slightly up, but no big difference here. Here we can see Zhao is slightly more rotated because he has held on to his pike position a little bit longer than Carlos. They both swing powerfully and comfortably out of the skill. Glide kip, pirouette. Now into his Bavzar. His shoulders move straight towards the ground, leaving his feet behind. This replicates a reverse heck tap beat commonly done on the high bar to help with counter rotation. At his peak height here, he has plenty of room to clear the bars with his legs, and his tap beat rotates him easily to reach out and grab the bars in front of him. From the side angle here, we can see how far he travels forward. Look where his hands release the bar and look where they re-grab. This helps him rotate. A very high angle swing out and kip into an LC. In this side-by-side of Zhao and Carlos, we can see they use similar tap swings, but Zhao seems to go much higher due to his more aggressive and exaggerated tap swing. They both drop their shoulders down in preparation for their glide kips. Pirouette. Just like the Bavzar, he pushes his shoulders down to the ground, and this gives his feet time to move through the bottom of the swing so he can throw his feet down and counter-rotate to get his chest back on top to the straddle L position. Because his kick-through is a bit cut short, he doesn't rotate as much as he could to get on top here, so his legs drop a bit. Still, he completes the skill smoothly. Now into his Diamondov, then front uprise to a double front branny out. From the side, we can see this is a very high and elegant front swing. He shows great shoulder flexibility and potential power in this swing. Now he opens up to release that power into his swing. Now he releases the bar. He's actually much lower here than on his front flipping skills earlier done in the routine. This tells me he relies mostly on the speed of his rotation rather than height in his dismount. We can see he gets around very easily. I would say in competition he sticks this dismount more than half the time. As he works, we can see his patience, paying attention to detail and trying to do each individual skill as perfect as he can. This is really clean and beautiful parallel bar work. His most common mount has been a double layout full out or a double layout with a full twist. His execution is beautiful in the air, and he does this skill very easily. I believe he can easily add 1 or even 2 more twists to the skill, doing a double-double or even a triple-double eventually. Even on takeoff, his form is very tight and clean. He spots the floor after his first flip and starts his full twist. It may be hard to see here, but he sees the floor, and he is 3/4 into his twist. With a half flip left, he's completed his full twist and stylishly opens his arms out to the side to prepare for landing. Now he's thinking stick the landing at this point. This is a side-by-side comparison with Olympic champion Alexei Nemov. Alexei is considered one of the cleanest tumblers of his time. Both have clean takeoffs. They both actually spot the ground here. Carlos has completed more twist at this point, and he stylishly places his hands by his side. And he completes his twist and he's squared off for the landing very early, and that gives him more time to focus on sticking. And even when Carlos doesn't stick, it's normally just a small hop anyway. I would say Carlos sticks this skill more than half the time. Here's a look at some of his front tumbling. A double twisting layout front to a layout front. Here's a high powerful hurdle, really clean and tight form in the air. He spots the floor right here in preparation for his punch into his layout front. and his layout front just soars with his arms to the side in elegance. Very nice. This is a back layout with 1.5 twists into a double twisting layout front flip. I don't see him use this as often as he's upgraded his routine. Here's his back 2.5 twisting layout punch straight into his 2.5 twisting layout front flip. Wow, look how clean he is in the air. The challenge with these combinations is to get the proper timing and bounce after the 2.5 twisting back to punch directly into the 2.5 twisting front. Here's a side-by-side comparison with Kenzo Shirai, who's regarded as one of the best twisters in gymnastics. Carlos starts his twist slightly earlier. They finish their twist almost identical. I would say Kenzo has completed slightly more of his twist at this point, but they both spot the ground and set up for their punch into their next skill. They both connect with the floor well, but they also have their feet slightly crossed for a slight form deduction, and they land very similar. Here's his piked double front granny out, or piked double front with a half turn. He does this skill so easily and with such great form. Just really nice to watch. Now he adds his double pike front in an upgraded combination. Look at the distance he travels here. It's like a pole vaulter traveling across the floor at a very high rate and sticking his feet into the floor and launching upward. Carlos is very well known for his focus on controlling his landings. His legs are tight together and he pulls his arms into his body to accelerate his twist. Here he spots the floor in preparation to punch the floor before his double pike. So cool, beautifully done. All through this skill, his legs and feet are glued together and he has such great timing and control. He does make this look easy. Even on this landing, he tries to move his feet as little as possible. This is a layout front full into a 2.5 twisting layout front. In multiple twisting front tumbling, it's very common to go off axis like this due to the way the gymnasts torque their arms to accelerate their twist. This is a side-by-side of Kenzo and Carlos. Carlos does a layout full where Kenzo does a tucked full. This full twisting front simply sets up and accelerates the twist in multiple twisting frontward skills. There's a lot of technique going on here. Their left arm is held out away from the body so they can wrap it in close to their body and accelerate their twisting. Neither one of these gymnasts go that high, but they spin incredibly fast. Here's a triple full for a side pass or a backflip with a triple twist. I would say he sticks this more than half the time. He does this from a round-off and not a round-off back handspring. The current generation is much more accepting of doing skills out of round-offs. Really clean form here. Here's a long reach on his round-off, deep block angle. It's easy to over-rotate your flip in twisting skills, so a deeper block angle helps to stall the flip in twisting skills so you don't over-rotate. He opens up easily out of this triple full. This makes it no surprise that he sometimes does a 3.5 twisting backflip for a dismount. This bumps up the value from a D to an E. Even this is pretty comfortable for him, as he also does a 3.5 twisting backflip immediately punched to a branny or a front flip with a half twist. This is an upgraded combination. And so cool, he has such good form on this with his legs glued together throughout this whole sequence. Carlos has many skills and combinations to choose from when he constructs his floor routine. I look forward to seeing what he puts together for the Olympics. He is definitely a medal contender on the floor and really does some of the cleanest and most elegant tumbling in the world. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Always feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, as this will notify you when I release new videos. You can also leave any thoughts you might have in the comments. Thanks again, and until next time, rock on!